All right, welcoming you all inside the 5 days live session. If you can hear me loud and clear, then please type LC loud and clear in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much. You all can quickly turn your videos on. You will be able to see me in just a couple of sec. Yes, you all people will be able to see me, but for that you have to turn your videos on, and you people will be able to see me in just a couple of seconds. Thank you so much. Waiting for those. If you all can quickly turn your videos on, and if you can hear me loud and clear, then please type LC loud and clear in the chat box. Be quick, come on. Turn your videos on, and then we can move ahead. Thank you so much, Mahesh. Thank you so much, Krishna. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Thank you so much, Ahmad. Thank you. Thank you so much, Avinash, Paresh. Sai Krishna, thank you so much. Sainath, thank you so much. Nishant, thank you so much. Anis, thank you so much. Mike, thank you so much. Shashank, thank you so much. Waiting for others. If you all can quickly turn your videos on, that would be great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Chalo. All right. So I hope you can hear me and see me properly. And if yes, type LC in the chat box. Okay. Now, two things. I know you have tons and tons of questions right now. Who I am, what I do, what exactly we are going to do and cover in these 5 days boot camp, and a lot more. I know you have got those questions, right? Listen to me. Please listen out to me. What I want you to do is
Recording in progress.
I'll quickly cover all the things, right? Let me quickly answer all the questions in the next 2 minutes so that when we move on to the coding part, you have no queries and questions and we can directly move on to the coding part. Is that okay to everyone? Yes? Is that okay to everyone, right? Let me quickly share the rules and regulations with all of you and then we can begin, right? So here we go. Welcoming you all once again inside the 5 days live session. Give me a moment. All right. Welcoming once again inside the 5 days live session. Thank you so much for being here. Now, if you're ready for the boot camp, then please quickly type ready in the chat box. When you are saying ready, it means you are ready with the pen and papers to take a lot of notes. When you are saying ready, you have next 60 minutes to spend with me. If that's the case, then please quickly type ready inside the chat box. Yes. Thank you so much, Ashish, Aishwarya, Rajni, Karthik, Nikit, Naveen, Anupama, Ayush, Paresh, Fazia, Anjali, Samriddhi, Gauri, Jayashri, Avinash, Nishu. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Listen, I know you have already gone through tons of courses, videos, and roadmaps in the past. And now you're here for some sort of reasons. And let me tell you two things very clear over here: who I am, what I do, and why the hell you should even listen out to me. So, hi everyone. Very good evening. My name is Ashish, and over the last 6.5 years, I have been in this industry and I started my career as a full stack developer. And I was an all-Indian Council of Robotics and Automation, which is a part of Ministry of Science and Technology. And then I have been into AOSPL as a senior full stack developer. And then in 2019, I was tech lead at Leader Learning. Everything was going good. And suddenly the COVID hits. And that was the toughest time that we all have faced. We all were locked inside the home with literally no idea what's going to happen next. And at that point of time, I was having around 4,000 followers on LinkedIn. I have done a lot of recruitments at that point of time. And I dropped a message. I want to teach web dev. If you are interested, do let me know. And you know what? Surprisingly, more than 120 people joined my WhatsApp group. And for the very first time, my Google Meet was blown by around 83 people live. And what happened after that? In the next 5 months, I quit my job. I started teaching, and we finally launched Code Karo in 2021. So far, I have taught more than 1 lakh students live. I have been into colleges like IIT Bhubaneswar, NIT Jaipur, IIT Indore, and many other colleges, VITs, SRMs, and stuff. My students are currently working in companies like AMD, Reliance, Tech Mahindra, Zoho, Freshworks, MDUS Labs, Accenture, Capgemini, Barclays, Paytm, Cred, Intel, Reliance, Geo, you name the companies, you will find the students of Code Crew working over there. If that sounds amazing and you're excited to learn more with me, type EX excited inside the chat box. If you're excited to learn more with me from here onwards, type excited in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much. All right. Now we are almost 500 people, right? Not almost, we are 500 people right now. And it is very important to follow some sort of rules and regulations. So listen out to me very carefully, right? Please listen to me very carefully. And here you go. Rule number one, make sure your videos are on. And it's very important. If the video is not on, you will be removed, right? Point number one, make sure your video is on, else your video, you will be removed from the meeting, right? That's point number one. Make sure your cameras are on. Your mics will be off so that you can hear me loud and clear without any sort of distractions. You will not be able to see what others are writing and typing in the chat box, just to ensure you can hear me loud and clear without any sort of distractions. Is that okay? Right? And you can completely focus on learning, right? The most important part. If you have any doubts and questions, then what, Ashish? If you have doubts and questions, listen out to me very carefully. Your doubts will get cleared even without you ask it, right? How is that possible? Absolutely, that is possible. The only thing that you do is you have to just listen out to me very carefully, and even without you ask, your questions will get answered. I'll personally answer them out. You will see that magic happening, okay? Right? All right. Now, how many of you plan today to write in the code with me? How many of you have the plans that you will be writing the code with me today? If you have those plans, type me in the chat box. If you have those plans, then please type me in the chat box. I know you're super smart people, but today I do not want you to do that. Sooner. I do not want you to be a copy pasting machine, because when you're writing the code, your whole focus will be just to copy my code and get the same output on your system. Is that true? And I do not want you to do that. I do not want you to be a copy pasting machine, okay? Are you getting my point? So there's no need to write the code with me. Your whole focus for the next 60 minutes will be just to take notes and understand the concept. Is that okay? Yes? If you're getting my point, type yes in the chat box. If you're getting my point, type yes in the chat box. I do not want anyone to write the code with me. Your whole focus should be to understand the concepts and take notes. Right? All right. Perfect. Chalo. I am able to get your point. Thank you so much. Check your internet in that case, Imroz. Right? बहुत बढ़िया. All right. So before we begin, just wanted to know more about you people. So I'll just quickly drop a poll. And I just wanted to know if you're a student or if you're a working professional, and are you from the IT background or you are from the non-IT background? Please do let me know inside the poll quickly. I have dropped the poll, so please be quick. That's absolutely okay, Karthikeya. All right. The class will be for 60 minutes, 65 minutes, not more than that. I'll not bore you for long, right? So, chalo. Let's get started. Thank you so much for filling up the form. Waiting for others. Thank you so much. Waiting for others. We have got 20% working professionals and 80% are students, and we have got 74% people from IT background, and we have got only 6% people from non-IT background. Right? Let's get started. Two most important questions right now that almost everyone will be having. So no, let me answer that. Whenever we are starting something, we should start with the goal, right? Let me put a goal for now. If I say that, let's put a goal that if you attend the session live for the next 5 days, with me, not even for 5 days, not even by the end of day 4, but by the end of day 3, you will be able to create websites like Netflix, YouTube, Airbnb, or any other thing that you can imagine of. You will be able to create that on your own without taking any help from Google or on YouTube or anything else. Does that sounds good? And I hope that's the biggest challenge you're here right now, right? You would have already gone through tons of courses and tutorials and roadmaps, but the problem is when we try to create something on our own, that is when we struggle, and we struggle like hell. Is that correct? And that's the goal. I promise, man, if you attend the sessions live and if you complete the assignments within 3 days, you will be able to see a drastic change. Okay. Does that sounds good, right? And you will be able to do all of that on your own without any sort of hustles. Right? So let's get started, right? Let's get started. I think that's a good agenda. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. And if my screen is visible, please type V for visible in the chat box. Yes. If my screen is visible, type SG systems good inside the chat box. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. So I am using VS Code. I will bring my VS Code over here. Okay. Let's open a new folder. You can use any other editor you are comfortable. It could be Atom, Sublime, JetBrains, whatever you're comfortable, you can use that, right? I'll just create a class called CSS day 1. Let's open it up. This is what we have, and I'll create 2 new files for now. One is going to be an HTML file, and the second one is going to be a CSS file, which is going to be this. So these are the 2 files that we have. And inside my HTML file, I can write the basic HTML boilerplate, and I can write a heading tag saying something as welcome to the 5 or welcome to the CSS bootcamp. Okay? Chalo. If you see this now, if I go live and if I show you the output, this is the output that we have. Okay? Like this. No rocket science, super easy and simple, right? Okay. Now what? Now the thing with this is, see, what I want now to do is, we want to style this, right? How is that possible? Styling this would be pretty easy and simple. What we can do now is, I can come here, and if I want to style this, this is a heading tag, and I want to style this. I'll take this heading tag and I'll say here in my CSS file h1, and when I'm using this curly bracket, what is this? I'm selecting this, and this is known as a selector. I have selected this tag, and now what I can do is, I can go here and I can say that the color is red, right? The moment I do that, the color should change to red, but it is not changing because of a very simple reason, and that is this. That reason is, these are 2 different files, and basically you have to link both the files together to get it done. And what we will be doing is, we'll go here and we'll say that this is a link tag and the file is style.css, right? The moment we link it up, if you see this, it says welcome to the CSS bootcamp. That is how it works. Super easy and simple, right? Yes. Now what? If I have one more heading tag and that says something as this is a 5-day live bootcamp. If I do that, and if I see this once again, the second heading is also red in color, which I do not want. And if I do not want this, now what is the problem? The problem is, I'm targeting h1 tag. So every time I will use an h1 tag, the same CSS, the same style, which is color red, will be applied. Yes or no? So what I want, basically what I want now is, see, what I want now is, I want a different way for targeting, and that is the class. Achha, matlab, I can say class attribute, and I can put any name over here, ABC, XYZ, whatever I want. I'm saying for now, ABC, let's say. ठीक है, फिर I can take that ABC, and because it is a class name, I will say dot ABC. अच्छा, why dot, Ashish? See, always remember, class name always starts with a dot. Okay, it always starts with a dot. Perfect, got it, got it. Then what? If you see this now, only the first heading is red in color, and the remaining headings are not red anymore. Got it. Ashish, what about IDs? If you have that question, congratulations, you have gone through multiple courses. But let me make one thing very clear. IDs are only used, IDs are used in JavaScript majorly, will not be using IDs in the CSS. And classes are the best way to apply CSS, okay? Classes are the best way to apply CSS. Is that okay? Classes are the best way to apply CSS. Are you getting my point, right? That totally take into consideration. But again, ABC didn't make any sense, so I can put a real name and I'll say this to be a heading. Okay, you can put whatever name you want, but the name should be meaningful. And if you see this now, this is red in color. Cool. But Ashish, I also want this in the center in the page. I want if it comes in the center, that would be even more great. How is that possible? Very easy. I can create a class called center because center makes sense to me. I'll say text align, and text align is center. Okay, now what? I can come here and I can say that I have a class center also. Acha, it means I can just add as many classes as I want. Absolutely. You can add as many classes as you want. Hmm. Okay. Got it. If I want to add 5 classes or 10 classes, can I do that also? Absolutely, you can do that. Great. We'll not talk about IDs for now, Tanisha, right? IDs we'll talk later. For now, understand that IDs are not used in CSS most of the time. Right? Okay. Now, what next? Now, the thing is, Ashish, this is in the center. Now, if I want the second heading also in the center of the page, then what? If we want the second heading also to be in the center of the page, we can simply say that we have got a class called same center, right? Now, the second heading is in the center of the page, but it is not red anymore. What I can understand from this, I can combine as many classes as I want, as many times as I want, depending on my needs. Point number one. Point number two, I can use any number of combinations. If I want to combine 5 more classes here, I can do that. Okay? But when I want it. And this is the best way of applying CSS. And that is what we will be generally doing from here onwards. Is that okay to everyone? If it's clear so far, type C in the chat box. If it is clear so far to you, type C in the chat box. Pretty easy and simple, no rocket science at all. Right? I'm just covering very basic so that we all are on the very same page. And believe me, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, you will have some next level of understanding as well. So either on the very same page. Okay. Now there's no need of these two headings actually, which is CSS bootcamp and stuff. So what I'll be doing is I'll just remove this and what I'll do now is see, I will go here and I'll create a class called div. And what I'm going to do inside this div is, inside this div, I am going to say something like an h1 tag that says something as, let's say, explore the best work from home offers, and followed by a paragraph as well. And that is, let's say, something in 14 words. Now, the biggest question is, Ashish, what the hell is this div, right? We are frustrated with this div. People use this div whenever they want. Yes or no? Yes or no? So what is this div, Ashish? Listen to me. There are so many purposes of using a div. There are literally so many purposes of using a div. Few purposes I'm going to cover today, and as you move with the course, you will be able to understand remaining things side by side. Is it okay? You will be able to understand the remaining things side by side. Ramya, yes, you will be removed again and again if the video is not on. I cannot do anything onto it, right? You will be removed. Just make sure your video is on and you will not be removed. Okay? Okay. Now, the two main reasons of using a div is number one, to organize a code, right? The number one reason is to organize the code. Is that clear? Right? That's one thing you can do with the help of div, right? And the second reason is to apply CSS. Matlab, I'll tell you. If I have to change the color of heading to red, I have to put a class here also. And then similarly, if I want to put my paragraph also red, I have to apply the CSS here also. In that case, what will happen? Chinmay, it is on the first come, first serve basis. That's why I have said that you have to join by 7:50 p.m., right? 500 seats are full on the first come, first serve basis, right? Okay. Now what the thing is, see, if you come here in a div and if you put a class called box and you go here in the CSS and you say that when I have got this class box and I have got the color is red, see what is going to happen. No, we'll help you fix that. Do not worry. The team will help you with that. Just ask me to drop a message, they will fix. They'll give him a chance to join in the next webinar. Okay. So if you see this now, what is this? This is like both the heading and the paragraph. You have got the stuff over here. Are you getting my point? Right? So that is the purpose of div. You can apply CSS to multiple elements by one single shot. Point number one. Second thing, you can structure your code. Okay, that this is a div, and inside this div, I have some like 4, 5, 6 elements. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? If you are getting my point, type yes in the chat box. If you're getting my point so far, type yes in the chat box. Okay? There are other purposes of div also. As we will move ahead with the course, you'll be able to understand that. Okay? Do not worry about that. Okay? You can join from phone, right? The camera you can get from phone, Tanishka. Okay? Otherwise, you will be removed. Okay? Okay? So we understood this. Now the core of today's session is box model. What? Box model. The core that we are going to talk today is box model. Ashish, I know box model. No, you do not. I'll show you something will blow your mind. Box model consists of three things, which is border, padding, and margin. Okay. These are the three things that you have, which is border, paddings, and margins. And now let's talk about that. Pretty easy and simple. We already have put in a class called box. So let's talk about that. The first property is border, right? And let's say the border is 5 pixels. It's solid and it's red in color. If you see this now, I have got this border over here. Yes or no? Sure, Sneha, you can do that. What is happening? We got a border over here, right? Right. Okay, but what are these three values? 5 pixels, solid red. What does that mean, Ashish? See, that is basically the thickness of the border, that is the style of the border, and then it's the color of the border. Acha, matlab, see, thickness of the border is 5 pixels, style of the border is solid, and the color of the border is red. Acha, which means we can change that, right? If you want, you can change that. So if I change the thickness from 5 to 15 pixels, what will happen? You'll get a thickness like this, right? Pretty easy and simple. All right. Now, what the next thing over here is, see, Ashish, right now it is taking the whole width of the screen, right? It is taking the width from this end to this end. Is it possible to take a width up to this point? Is that possible? And if yes, then how? Yes, it is absolutely possible. You can go and say that the width is going to be 300 pixels, right? If you see this now, this is how it works. It is from very basics, Bhumi. And HTML, I've already shared the video for that. I hope you have watched that. If you see this now, this is what we have. And if you come here, let me change this to heading 3, right? H1 is very big. Yes, much better. If you see this now, this is how it works, right? ठीक है. Ashish, there is no space between the heading and the paragraph. If I want to add the space, then how can I do that? If I want to add the space, basically, then how I can do that? Very easy and simple. If you want to add the space inside, you can go here and you can simply say in your CSS, the property with padding. Acha. I can say 50 pixels. If you see this, what happened? You got the space inside. So whenever you want to add the space inside the border, you use the padding property. Yes or no? Whenever you want to use a space inside, you can use this padding property. Are you getting my point? Yes. Whenever you want to get the space inside the border, we use padding, right? Padding is all about space inside the border. Padding is space inside the border, right? Ashish, can I make the corners rounded? Like these are the corners. Can I make these corners curved or rounded? And if yes, then how? Very easy and simple. If you want to make the corners rounded, you can go here and you can say that the border radius is let's say 50 pixels. And if you see this now, the corners are rounded. But Ashish, how this exactly works? See, whenever, listen to me very carefully, whenever you have a square or a rectangle like this, and you define a border radius, then a circle with that much border radius is generated like this. And once a circle is generated, then the outer part, which is this outer part is being waved off. And because this outer part is being waved off, my drawing is bad, but I hope you are able to understand. Once this outer part is being waved off, you actually get a curved corner. Okay? Got it, Ashish. Hmm. Now what? There's one more property. And what is that? That is padding. That is margin. Okay? What is margin? Margin is when you apply the space outside the border. Acha, acha, acha. Padding is space inside the border. Margin is a space outside the border. बहुत बढ़िया. If I say 50 pixels, now if you see this, see, I have got the space in the outer part, which is the margin. Is that clear? Space outside the border is margin and space inside the border is padding. Is it clear so far? If it's clear, type C in the chat box. If this is clear, type C in the chat box. If this is clear, then please type C in the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shashank, Fatima, Devesh, Ramya. ऐश्वर्या, Praneet, Mohammed, Manav, Satyaprakash. ठीक है. See, I know it is not looking good as of now. I know it is not looking good, right? Have some patience. I know it is not looking good. See, let's make few changes into this. I'll go here and I will simply say that I want to change the font, or I'll just reduce the text size also by a bit. I'll say this is okay. So now this is fine. I'm just saying that my font family is sans serif. Okay? I'm just changing my font by a bit like this, right? Okay. Now, so far, I have only used the properties of box model, yes or no? I have only used the properties of box model, which is the border, padding, margin, and stuff. Is that correct? I have not used anything apart from the box model so far. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now what I will do, I will not write any CSS property. I will just manipulate the properties and let's see if it starts looking good, okay? I will just manipulate these values and let's see if it starts looking good. So I'm saying that my border is of 1 pixel. It is solid and it is light gray in color. Width is okay. Padding is 10 pixels. Border radius is 14 pixels. Margin is okay. Font family is also okay. If you see this now, it is the very same design that we have made few seconds back, but now this is much better. Yes or no? Now my design is looking much better. Yes or no? Yes. What I did, I just manipulated the values, right? I have not added any new CSS value, right? I have just manipulated the values. Now, it would be even better if I can add an image on this. Yes or no? If I can add an image on top of this box, it would be even more good, correct? So let's go onto a website and simply say that we have got this Unsplash, and let's say I want to search for, let's say, work from home, not home, it should be home, like this. And we say that I need an image which is in landscape. Let's see what we can choose actually. So, okay. Uh, okay. Let's choose this as the image for now. So once this image is loaded, I can simply do a right click, say copy image address, and I can go to my HTML. I can put an image tag over here, and inside this image tag in the source, I will put this image. But this image is blurred actually. Let me see if we can get some other image as well. Let's take this as the image. Yes, let's take this as the image instead of that one. So I'll just do this. Copy image address. We are good to go. Perfect. Or we can choose this also. This is also a good image actually. So copy image address. Okay. What I want now, I want to put this image over here. So I'll just remove this and I'll put this as the image. If you see this now, we have got the image, but the problem is the image is so big and it is taking full width of the screen. Yes or no? And I want to fix this. How is that possible? Very easy and simple. To apply that, I need some CSS. And if I need CSS, I need a class. I'll say the class name is box image, right? I'll go to my CSS file and I'll say that when I have got this class, which is the box image, I can say that the width is going to be 100%. Percentage Y, I will answer. I'll answer that. See this now. We got the image over here. Now what I want my image also to be curved. So I can say that the border radius is again 14 pixels. And if you see this, the image is also curved like this. Is it looking good? If it is looking good, type LG in the chat box. And now we'll talk about the percentage, right? Y percentage. We'll talk about that. But if it is looking good as of now, type LG in the chat box. Thank you so much. Have we used anything apart from the box model? No, right? We have not used anything apart from the box model. Is that correct? Right? Okay, chalo, suno. Now, what the hell is this 100%? Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. What we are doing over here is, when we have got this width 100%, if I ask you a question, if I ask you a very general question, if I say that, hey man, tell me the answer of 10%, you'll be like, okay. If I ask you, tell me the answer of 50%, you'll be like, Ashish, you are mad. Why? Percentage is a relative value. So how can I say 10% and 50%? But if I change my question and I say that I have 500 rupees, and now tell me 10% of 500 and 50% of 500, is my question making more sense? Yes or no? Now, is my question making more sense to you? Quickly, yes or no in the chat box. Yes or no? I hope that now my question is making sense to you, right? Why? Because percentage is a relative value. Correct? Now, that is exactly what you to understand. Acha, matlab, when I'm saying 100%, it is taking the 100% width. हाँ, किसकी? Of the parent. Matlab, देखो. If you see this, if you see the HTML structure, first of all, what is my HTML structure? I have this box class, correct? Inside my box class, I have got this image, yes or no? Inside the box, I have got the image, yes or no? Now, because inside the box, I have the image, if in the, what is the width of my box? 300 pixels. So if I say the image should be 100%, then what will be the width of the image? 300 pixels. Now you will say, Ashish, then why the hell we are doing this much of stuff? Why the hell we are doing this? We can directly also say this, that the width of the image is 300 pixels. Yes or no? Because we are not saying it, because if I change the width of my box from 300 to 400 pixels, see what happened? The image adjusted automatically, right? And if you say this is 200 pixels, the image is again adjusting. Are you getting my point? So whatever is the width, the image will adjust automatically, and that is always a good practice to put the image in percentage until and unless you have a specific requirement. Is it clear so far? If it's clear so far, type C in the chat box. All right. Thank you so much, Tushar, Abhishek, Shreyansh. Okay. Now, listen out to me very carefully. I know you people are super excited, but I have a question. I have a question. Suno. I have a question. How many of you have already gone through multiple courses, tutorials, and roadmaps before coming on to this video or before coming on to this 5-day course? If you have gone through that, type me in the chat box. Please type me in the chat box. Come on, quick. ठीक है, ठीक है. Hmm. ठीक है. Now, suno. What is the biggest challenge you have faced? You watch a video, you watch a course, you watch a tutorial, you watch a roadmap, but every time you start doing something of your own, you struggle to create the things on your own. Is that true? That's yes. Type yes in the chat box. Yes. What if I say what I'm going to show you in the next 5 minutes will blow your mind? What I'm going to show you in the next 5 minutes will blow your mind. And that's the reason, listen out to me very carefully. No, not all the properties, Bhavna, just the percentage. So it just refers the width. That's it. Not everything. Not everything. Just the width. ठीक है? ठीक है. Okay. Now, I hope you all have gone to the website, and we feel designs by Google and designs by Facebook are literally complex, right? And if you go inside my account at google.com, if you observe this thoroughly, can I say that these are also the examples of box model? How they are side by side, that's a different question. We'll talk about that on day 3. On day 3, will talk about we will talk about how to bring the content side by side, okay? But we will do that on day 3. That's not a part of now. But if I ask you, can I say that this is a box model? Yes or no? Can I say that this is a box model? Quickly, yes or no? Yes. Not just that, if you even see these cards, can I again say that this is also an example of box model? Yes. If you go on the website of Code Karo, and if you see this, can I say that this is also an example of box model? Absolutely yes. If you go here, if you see these feedbacks, can I say that this is also an example of box model? Can I say that? Yes. These are just few examples. You can literally create hell lot of things. Now, if you again have the question, Ashish, how to bring these boxes side by side, we are going to cover that on day 3. That is the part of day 3. Is that clear? We'll talk about that on day 3. For now, the question is this a box model? Yes, this is a box model. Yes? Okay. Okay, wait. What if I say, you can not just create this, but you can even create more than this just with the help of box model? Let me show you something. If you go on the website of Airbnb, is this website looking good? Is it looking good? If it is looking good, type LG in the chat box. If this is looking good to you, type LG inside the chat box. And believe me, you will be able to create the very same thing on your own, not by the end of day 5, not by the end of day 4, but by the end of day 3. I promise you on that. Okay? So now, if I say that I want to go to, let's say, Masuri for a moment, right? And if I say these are the dates that we have, just wanted to show you something, have some patience. And let's say I want to book this room, right? And once I'm booking this up, can I see that this is also an example of box model? Can I say this is also a box model? Can I say this is also a box model? Yes, a lot could be done with the box model. And what if I say you can create a whole login page just with the box model? If I say you can create the whole login page just with the box model, can you believe me? A whole login page. Let me show you something. So if I go here and if I say that there's a website called Amazon, I hope you all have seen this. And if you go onto the sign in page now, can I say this is a box model? You have got a heading inside it, you have got an input field, you have got a button, and your login page is done. Is there any sort of rocket science involved in this? Is there any rocket science involved? And man, not just this, not just this. See, if you instead of this go on Instagram and you go on Instagram, if you see this, can I say this is also the box model? This image is side by side, which is again, we'll talk on day 3 that how the content is side by side. Can I say it's a box model where you've got an image, you have got the input field, you have got the button, you have got some links, and it's done. Yes, ठीक है. Okay. So if your mind has been blown that how much could be done just with the box model, type MB mind blown in the chat box. If your mind has been blown that shit, how much could be done just with this one single concept, then please type MB mind blown in the chat box. All right. All right. Okay. We'll do all of that, Amit. Have some patience. Okay. Chalo. Chalo. I haven't said something to you at the very starting, and that is I will be giving you 5 superpowers, one superpower every day. And I have already given you a superpower of day 1. Let me show you that. Okay. So just see that there's a very popular website called LinkedIn. I hope you know about this. And if you visit this LinkedIn, if you see this, if you are able to see the box model on this page, type BMOP box model OP in the chat box. I hope you all would have seen this website in the past, yes or no? I hope you all would have seen this website in the past. Have you ever imagined maximum things out there are being made just using the box model? Have you ever thought of that? Shrikant, if you can focus on the class rather than the phone call, that would be great. Shrikant. Thank you so much, Shrikant. Thank you so much. ठीक है, ठीक है. Are you getting my point, right? This is nothing but just the box model, right? Let's build some things on top of that. I hope you have got an idea on how these things work. So let's get started, right? Let's come back and let's build few more things so that you get few more understandings on how box model works and what else could be done with the box model, right? So let's do it, right? All right. Because that is not the optimized approach, Tavish saying, okay? ठीक है. Okay. I want to bring this image in the center of the page also, right? What I want to bring this image, to bring this whole box in the center of my page as well. How is that could be done, right? I'll go to my CSS and I will say that margin 50 pixels and Yes, Instagram page is also the box model. I'll say auto. Matlab, देखो. Okay. How is that done? See, um, what we did, margin 50 pixels in auto, but two values, matlab, you can apply two values in paddings and margins, okay? You can apply two values in paddings and margin, where first value refers top and bottom, and the second value refers left and right. Are you getting my point? The first value refers top and bottom, and the second value refers left and right. Is that clear? The first value refers top and bottom, second value refers left and right. Right? Okay, what does that mean? 50 pixels. So if you see this, it is applying 50 pixels on top and 50 pixels on bottom. Auto means depending on how much space you have, it will apply the maximum space on left and right. So you have got the maximum space on left, maximum space on right, and the content automatically comes in the center of the page. Is that clear? Yes, you can write four values as well, Vishwesh. Right. Now, let's see what else could be done with the box model. This is one example that we have made. If we go here and if I create a class called BG for background, and inside this, if I go and say that an h1 tag that says something as explore the whatever you want to write, diversity of India, basically. And I'm putting a paragraph which is something in 16 words. And I'm even putting a button over here with a class called button. My bad, this should be inside the div. So like this. And here I'm saying something as explore now. If you see this now, I have got this very basic HTML, no CSS has been done over here. Yes or no? There's no CSS into this for now. There's no CSS for this. Okay. Now what we'll be doing? I'll take all the questions at the end. Okay. I'll take all the questions at the end. Okay. Okay. Chal. I'll take this BG class. I'll go here, and what we'll be saying, I'll say that the width of this is going to be 780 pixels. Okay. What else? I'm saying that the background color of this is orange. You can put any other color of your choice, but this is not looking good, Ashish. Yes. We can say that the font family is sans serif, but it is still not looking good. Okay. I'll go in the margin. I'll say the margin is, let's say 60 pixels on top and bottom, auto on left and right. So it came like this. Now I know there will be so many people thinking that Ashish, if we put auto in the first place also, then my content will also be vertically aligned. Like my content will be vertically aligned from top and bottom also. How many of you thinking that? If you're thinking that, type me in a chat box. If you're thinking that, then please type me in a chat box. Listen. If the things would have been so easy and simple, if the things would have been so easy and simple, why would I have been here? Right? No. For now, understand that auto does not works for top and bottom. Auto only works for left and right. Is that clear? Right? By default, it does not work, right? By default, auto does not work for top and bottom. It only works for left and right. Absolutely correct, Yogesh. Okay? Now, but it is not looking good. I know that. Do not worry. We'll make it look good. Now, I can say that the color of my text should be white. So the color became white, but it is still not looking good. What we can do now? We can go to the padding property, and we can say that the padding is 100 pixels on top and bottom and 40 pixels on left and right. Much better. I can just change this to 670 pixels. So we have changed the width. I can change this to 120 pixels and 50 pixels. Is it looking good now? What I did, I have not used anything apart from the box model. I'm still using just the box model. That's all. And now, if you see this, if I go here, I can say that we have got this border radius, let's say of 16 pixels. So I have even got a border radius over here. Now we have to design this button also, very easy and simple. For button, we have took this class, which is button. Let's take this. Let's come here and let's say that when I have got this button class, I can simply say that the background color is white. And if you see this now, we got this white color, but if you observe, there is this black border as well, right? Something that we do not want. And removing that is pretty easy. I can go here and I can say that the border is none. None means there's no border at all. The border has been removed. Is that clear? Right? This border has been removed. Right? Now we are changing the button color, Kanan. Okay. I want my button to be bigger, so I will use padding. I'll say that padding. And how much is the padding? The padding is 16 pixels and 30 pixels. 16 pixels means on top and bottom. 30 pixels left and right. And if you see this now, this is how it looks. Hmm? And not just that. See, what I can do later on with this is I can even say that the font size is going to be 16 pixels. So the size of the font will also be increased. And now if you want, you can just do something like border radius and you can say 6 pixels. So you'll get a small curve in the button. If you need bigger curve, you can say something as 12 pixels, you get a bigger curve. And if you need even more bigger, you can say something as 40 pixels and you get a curved button like this. You can play around with this stuff, right? Is it easy and simple so far? If it's easy and simple, then please type ES, easy and simple, in the chat box. If it's easy and simple, then please type ES in the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. How many of you have the question, Ashish? Can we put the image in the background instead of a normal color? Can we put the image in the background? And if yes, then how? If you have the same question, I mean the chat box. That is exactly what we will be doing tomorrow live exactly at 8 p.m. We'll talk about positions tomorrow. I know that is something which is very frustrating and very confusing, but I promise you will never ever struggle with positions in your whole life by tomorrow. Tomorrow, exactly at 8 p.m., we'll talk about positions, we'll talk about relative, absolute, fixed, sticky, all of that in good depth, and you will be able to do this problem either. Okay. For now, it's almost 9, but I want to teach you for the next 5 more minutes. Is that completely okay? It's almost 9, but I want to teach you for the next 5 more minutes. If you're enjoying the class, type E for enjoying in the chat box. And if you're getting bored and want me to bind the session now, type B for bored in the chat box. If you're enjoying it, type E in the chat box. What time tomorrow? Same time. All the classes will be at the same time, Krishna, 8 p.m. in the evening, right? All the classes will be at the same time. Okay. All right, Chala. Thank you so much for trusting and thank you so much for enjoying. Suno. Let's do something even more interesting and let's create a login page. Okay. Let's create a login page now. So I'm saying I have this login stuff. Hmm? What do we need in the login page? Inside the login page, we need a logo, and logo is basically an image. So I will put in image tag right here. We'll put our logo, right? Then what I want the input field, and it should has a class. The class name is also input, and I need two input fields like this. Okay, so we got two input field. Okay, one is this, one is this. We can say we have got a placeholder that is enter the username. And here also we can say we have a placeholder that says something as enter the password. Okay. And now we need a button also with a class called let's say login button. And here we can say something as login now. Okay. Easy and simple. No rocket science, just a pure HTML stuff. If you see this, we have got this. Okay. 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 Now what? We can use label, we can use that, but for now we'll not use it. I need a logo also. I have already downloaded some images. So let's see if I can do something. If I go to my downloads, do we have a logo? We should have. Where it is. Let's take this logo for now. I'll copy this logo. Let's go on to our project folder, which is how to CSS. Do not worry, you will get all these code right inside the WhatsApp group shortly. We have got day one. I am just pasting this logo. And now we'll just put this logo over here. If you see this now, the logo is very big. We have to design that also. So I will put a class for this and I will say that the class is going to be, what is the class? The class is going to be logo. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. What is the main class? Login. So I'll say the width of my login is 400 pixels. I am saying that the margin is how much? 120 pixels on top and bottom and auto on left and right. So this is how it comes. Logo needs to be smaller. So I'll say that we have got the class called logo. I'll say that the height is going to be 30 pixels. If we see this, ठीक है, let me change this to 36 or 38 pixels. That is more than sufficient. ठीक है. Okay. Now I also want here that the text align is center so that everything is in the center of the page like this. Now we have got this input field. Let's take this input field. I will go here and I will say that my width is 100% because the width of my input field should be like this. Yes or no? ठीक है? Okay. I'll say that the width is 360 pixels over here. So a bit smaller like this, much better. Now, I want to show you something. We'll cover media queries on day 4, Tushar. I'm just saying that the border is going to be 4 pixels solid and red in color. And we have got this padding of 12 pixels. Why I'm doing this, I will tell you in a couple of minutes, but this is how it looks. Now, what I want, I need some gap between my input fields, yes or no? Like they are very close and I need some gap between my input fields, yes or no? And to get that done, I will say that margin bottom is 12 or let's say 10 pixels. So now there is this decent gap between the input fields. Now I want my input fields to be bigger also. Yes. And to make my input fields bigger, I will say that there is a padding of 14 pixels. The moment I do that, what happened? My input field became bigger, but the problem is now it is going out of the box. So no, it should not go out of the red box. Is that correct? It should not go out of the red box. Yes or no? Quickly. Yes. But why is this happening? This is happening because of the padding property. See, if I remove the padding, it is inside. But I want that thickness and I also want that it should not go out of the box. Correct? That is exactly where a property comes into the place. A lot of people would have taught you this, and that is the box sizing, border box, but no one would have told you the purpose of this. See, if you see this now you have got the padding also applied and you have got it inside the box. It is not going out. Okay. What is doing? Whenever you apply this property, which is the box sizing border box, it ensures that the content is not going out of the parent element. Is that clear? Are you getting me point? Right? It basically ensures that the content is not going out of the parent element. Yes? Okay. Now there's no need of this red border and stuff. So we will go here and I'll say border and padding is not required. We will remove this. That was only for the demonstration purpose. Now let's close this up. Let's design our login button quickly. So the class is login button. Again, it's box model. Let's go here and simply say that when I have this login button, width is 100% and box sizing will be border box. We'll say that the background color is black. We'll say that the border should be none. We'll say that the padding is 16 pixels. If you see this, this is how it looks. The color is not visible. So we'll say that the color of the text is white. And if you see this, this is how it looks. Now, is there any rocket science involved? Is there any sort of rocket science involved to do these things? Just a quick thing I will change. In my logo, I will say that margin bottom is 24 pixels. So we have got a decent space over here. And we can again do something. We can say that if I want to change, I can say that the border is 1 pixels solid and it's light gray in color. So we have given like this. Is it looking good now? If you want, you can give the border radius to this. If you want, you can apply the links onto the bottom, like forget password, this, that, whatever you want, you can do with that. You can play around with the stuff. That is up to you, right? Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to play with this, you can do that. Is that clear to everyone? Is it easy and simple? Yes? ठीक है. Now tell me, is there any rocket science involved in CSS or in building things up? No, right? The only factor is we complicate the things, right? How many of you feel this experiment was much more, much more than what you have ever watched, maybe on YouTube or any course or in any tutorial? If you feel that, type me in the chat box. Yes. All right. Now what we'll be doing is listen to me very carefully. What I want, I will quickly make some announcements, right? And then we will quickly recap everything. Okay. We will recap everything that we have done so far. But before than that, let's have a very quick announcement. Please listen to me very carefully. Please listen to me very carefully. The announcement is this. You all will get the source code. Whatever I have taught you, you will get the source code of that inside the WhatsApp group once this live class ends. Is that clear? You will get the source code of that inside the WhatsApp group, point number one. Right? Second thing, you will be getting an assignment as well inside the WhatsApp group, which you have to complete and submit by tomorrow. What is the assignment, where to submit, how to submit? You will get a video for that. 2-minute video, just watch it and you'll be able to understand everything. Is it clear so far? Right? Is it clear so far? बहुत बढ़िया. And I will be choosing 2 winners tomorrow who will be doing their assignments in the best possible manner. And those 2 winners will get a cashback of rupees 99 tomorrow. Does that sound good? If that sounds good to you, type SG sounds good inside the chat box. If that sounds good to you, then please type SG sounds good in the chat box. Let me make it once again very clear. Point number one, you will get the source code of the class, you will get the assignment, and you will get a complete step-by-step instructions on how to submit, where to submit. And tomorrow, I will be choosing 2 winners and they will be getting a cashback of rupees 99. Okay? All right. You'll get the source code inside the WhatsApp group shortly, Anand. Okay. Okay. Is it clear so far? Now, we have a cool culture of taking the selfie before binding the session. So let me have a quick selfie session and then we'll recap everything that we've done so far, right? So let's have a selfie on a countdown of 5, 4. You all can turn your videos on. Thank you so much. On a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here you go. I will be sharing this with all of you inside the WhatsApp group. Please do check this out, right? And now let's quickly recap whatever we have done so far, and then I will be available for the next 10 minutes to take your doubts and questions. If you have any questions still left, I would love to answer your questions after the recap. Is it okay to everyone? Right? So let's have a very quick recap. What is the core that we talked in today's session? The core that we talked in today's session is the box model, right? It consists of 3 things, which is border, paddings, and margins. If I go here and let me share my screen once again, just a moment. Yes. So I have created a new div with a class called card. And inside this card class, if I go here, let me go here first of all, and let me say that we have got an H1, maybe H3 that says best interiors for your home with, let's say, a description of 10 words, and let's try to design this up. So here we go. What we are starting with, we are starting with this card class. Three things is core, that is border, padding, and margin. But what is border? Border is the thickness of the border, style of the border, and the color of the border. What is the width? Let's say the width is going to be 270 pixels. Let's say that the border radius is 16 pixels. Let's say padding. What is padding? Padding is a space inside the border. What is that? 10 pixels. And if you see this now, this is what we have. I can even say that my font family is sans serif. And if you see this now, this is what it looks like. I want this in the center of my page, so I'll say that margin is 20 pixels on top and bottom, auto on left and right. This is what I get. We need an image now, very easy and simple. Let's go here and let's search for uh, interior design. Let's see what we have. And I'll say that I need landscape is chosen, like, okay. We can I can even search for green. I love green color. So let's see what we have with this. It became so much green actually. Chalo. Anyways, if I remove this, what we have, what else we have, what else we have. See, having a good image is very important, right? When you are creating something, you should have a good image actually, right? It plays a very important role. So I will let me choose this as the image for now. I think this would be a good image for now. So let it load. Let's copy image address, and we can go here, we can put the image, and we can put this address. And because we have the class, we need a class over here. Let's say the class is card image. Okay. And I will go here and I can say that when I have got this card image, by default, what will happen? By default, the image will be so big like this. To fix this, I can say that the width of my image is 100%. Percentage refers to the parent value. This is what I get. The last thing I can say is I can say that the border radius is 50%. And so sorry, border radius is 16 pixels like this. And if you see this, we got something like this. Is it looking good? Easy and simple, no rocket science, right? All right. Now, one last thing quickly, just a minute. It'll take just a minute, okay? See, what I want, if you see this, let me give you an example. If you go inside one.google.com, uh, if you see this on the bottom, can you see this? There is this image. There is no space between the image and the border, but there is a space between the image and the text. Can you see this? What is this? It is box model only, but you have to rearrange the things. Yes or no? We have to rearrange the things in this case. How to do that? Pretty easy and simple. To get that done, what we can exactly do is, see, if I remove the padding property from here, what will happen? See, this is gone. But now I need the space between this. How to get that done? Very easy and simple. I will go here and I will create a new div with a class called padding, or let's say card padding, whatever you want. Let's say card body makes more sense. Inside this card body, I will take this heading and paragraph and I will put it over here. And Now we'll take this card body class. We can go here and we can say that when I have this card body, then the padding is of 8 pixels. And if you see this now, there is the space between the border and this. Right? Now, again, if you observe, there's a curve in the bottom of the image also, which we do not want. So we can remove that also. We can go in the image and we can say border top left radius is 16 pixels. In the same way, we can say that border top right radius is also 16 pixels. So the curve is only on top and not on bottom. Is it looking good now? Right? So it's all about the more you practice, the more you play around with this, you will be able to do these things on your own. It's super, super easy and simple, right? So I hope that you got these points and start and it is making sense to you. So if you have enjoyed the session so far, then please type
Recording
E
stopped.
for enjoyed in the chat box, and then we can move ahead. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Waiting for others. Thank you. Thank you. Now listen, listen. Here are some rules and regulations to ask your questions. I'm here for the next 15 minutes to answer your doubts and questions. But before then, that we'll meet tomorrow live exactly at 8 p.m. And tomorrow we will be talking about positions in good depth. We'll talk about relative, absolute, sticky, fixed. We'll talk about their use cases, and I'll be giving you a superpower tomorrow as well as usual. And you will never ever be confused with positions like tomorrow. Day three, we'll talk about the layouts and flex boxes. Day four, we'll talk about animations and responsive designs, media query, and all that stuff. Day five, we will be building a major project. Right? If you have no doubts, you can leave now. I'll see you tomorrow live exactly at 8 p.m. And if you have the questions, here are the rules and regulations. Put your question once. If you're putting your question multiple times, copy pasting, thinking I'm the smartest person on this planet and Ashish will answer my question, I'll not read that, man. Right? So make sure you're putting your question once. I'll read all the questions one by one with the flow. The only condition is when I announce your name, your video should be on and your hand should be raised so I can see you and I can understand that yes, what I'm telling to you, what I'm talking to you, you are able to get that and I'll answer your questions. Okay. Okay. Right. So you can start putting your questions and wait for your turn. I'll answer all the questions. Okay? Let me start one by one. Simran says, as I announce the name, the video should be on and the hand should be raised so that I can see you people. Will we get the recording of the class if we miss? No. It's a pure live session. You'll not get the recordings of this Simran. Can you provide a source from where we can practice? You will get the source code inside the WhatsApp group, Arjun. Uh, Shanmuga Pandian says, does margin and padding work the same way even if the border is not mentioned? Absolutely. It works in the very same way even if it is not mentioned because border is there by default, even if you do not say that border 1 pixel, 5 pixel, 10 pixel, even if it's not mentioned, it is there, right? So by default, it is there. It works in the very same way. Okay. But what time is the assignment due tomorrow? 7 p.m. Shashank says, is there any other value inside box sizing instead of the border box? Where you are, Shashank, there's one value which is the content size, and that is the default value. So if you add it or you do not add it, will not make any difference. Okay. Will the class be 1 hour regularly? Absolutely. How to code perfectly? Where you are, Gaurav? That's a good question, Gaurav. Where you are? The answer of that is with practice. That's the only way, right? There's no magic pill I'll tell you or I'll give you, and you'll be able to write a good code. These things do not work, right? The only way to write good code or be a good developer is to practice. That's it, man. The more you practice, the more you'll be good at it. Imagine how good you were on writing a cycle on day one, and imagine how good you were after an year. It's all it's all a fact of practice, right, Gaurav? I hope you got my point. Sandeep says, can we add space to the text inside the box by adding the padding? Yes, you can. Can you please explain the concept of div again? Tanishka, where you are? I cannot. Okay. So, Tanishka, it's very easy and simple. It's all about grouping the things, right? If you want to group the things, we use div, right? Grouping means I want to group, let's say, an image, and heading, a paragraph, some buttons or other stuff. We can group those things inside a div, and then I can control those things just by a div. If I want to align them in the center, if I want to change the colors, I want to apply padding, I only apply in the div, and all the thing which is inside it gets structured automatically. That's the use of div, right? I hope you got my point, Anishka. Sure, Capital, sure. Can I get the recorded class? No, Rishabh, that's a pure live class. No recordings will be available for this. How to keep 4 box model in a row? Utkarsh Gawai, we'll talk about that on day 3, right? We'll be moving step by step, right? The problem is when we jump here and there, we are completely confused, right? We'll talk about that, but on day 3. Can we use nested classes? Yes, you can. Lenovo says, please rename your name. It is very difficult calling someone Lenovo and Dell and iPhones, right? I hope you'll be having a real name. How to create the technical document related to my work as a CSS page, which can include architectural diagrams and instructions, if it's how. Lenovo, all those questions, I not know your name. Whatever you want to create, you will be able to create by the end of day 4 and day 5. Just learn what I'm teaching, right? Because I do not know your exact requirements as of now, so I cannot say anything. But whatever it is, right? What I can understand, you basically want to create a documentation, and you can easily do that by the end of day 3. Once you know the layout system, once you know positions, box model, you already know you'll be able to do that. Just practice this, you'll be able to do it. Okay. Devish says, will I be able to create the WhatsApp clone by the end of this bootcamp? The front end part, Devish. Absolutely. You will be able to create a front end part, right? But WhatsApp even includes a backend system, right? So you'll not be able to add the functionalities onto it, but yes, the front end part you will be able to create for sure. Can you please organize a JS bootcamp? I don't have time for that, Yukta. If I have time, I'll be announcing it. How can we run the code you gave shown in VS Code? And where do we get that? Nishant, if you haven't got that, I have shared a video today morning that is the introduction to HTML. Please do watch that video. I have covered these things in depth: how to install VS Code, how to set it up, how to write the first code, how to run it up. I have covered everything over there. Is it having browser compatibility? Yes, Srikanth. Can we get a property attributes cheat sheet? No, you do not need that, Nandakishore. You do not need that. Now, the reason being, you do not need to learn everything, right? What you need to learn, I'll be covering in these 5 days. It will be very straightforward to the point stuff, so you not need anything else. Okay, okay. When we will get the assignment, I'm excited to do it. Tanish, you will get the assignment inside the WhatsApp group once this live class ends. Okay. Fatima says, hi Ashish, where you are, Fatima? For giving the values for margin, padding, or anything which is recommended, percentage or REM or pixels or any other. It depends on your goals, Fatima. It depends on what you want to achieve. For example, let's say you are a founder of a company, and you're asking me, should I give 10% of my profit to my employees, or should I give them 10,000 rupees per month? It depends, right? It depends on what you want to do. Yes or no? In a very same way, depending on what output you want, that will decide when you will be choosing pixels, when you will be choosing percentage, or when you will be choosing VH, VWRM and stuff and stuff. Okay? I hope you got my point, Fatima. Your video is not on, by the way. Loshni says, I have registered, which include the collection of projects and interview questions. When we will get that? So all the bonuses that you have opted for, Lochini, will be available on the last day of the bootcamp, right? All the bonuses will be available on the last day of the bootcamp, okay? My name is Komal. I didn't understand the last part where you showed the image and the border is attached. Could you please explain? Where you are, Komal? The thing is very simple. What we just did was, we want that there should be no space between the image and the border, and there should be the space between the image and the between the border and the text. So we removed the padding by default, and then we added a separate div, and in that div we added the padding. That's it. What we did. Explain the auto function. First of all, these are not the functions, Manoj. These are the properties of CSS, right? Auto, what it does is, see, I'll tell you very simple. Let's say you have a big carton in your house. Can you hear me properly, Manoj? Your video got stuck, I think. Let's say you have a carton, right? And inside that carton, what is happening? You have a small carton, right? And let's say it is on the left corner. And if I ask you, Manoj, push it until and unless it reaches the next side. So what will happen? You will push it as much as it is the possible, but it reaches the end, it will stop, correct? The same thing auto is doing. But when you say auto on left and right, the same force is applied on both the side. And that's the reason content comes in the center. The same force is applied from left, same force is applied from right. So it shrinks and comes in the center of the page. Did you got my point, Manoj? That's how the auto works. Okay. What we should do to withstand AI future for full stack? Vishesh, that's a good question. And I do understand being a student, that question comes up a lot. If you really trust me and you need the answer, listen to me very carefully. What you need is you not need to hesitate with the AIs. As of now, AI is not going to take your job. The only thing is you have to learn the AI, you have to learn ChatGPT, you have to learn prompt engineering so that you can be more productive enough, right? That's the only thing. You have to be good at the core and the fundamental. You should have good projects, you should have good knowledge, you should have good experience. If you have that, you are good to go, man, right? That's it. I hope you got my point, Vishesh. Ani says, I have been doing Java Spring Boot and microservices. I have always been very afraid of CSS. Uh, can I not always use Flexbox to arrange everything? I'm not confident in these things. Yet this session has helped to increase it. Do not worry, Anis. By the end of day 5, you will never ever struggle with CSS ever again in your life. I bet you on that, right? Just do the assignments and attend the sessions live. That's it. When will get the interview questions? On last day of the bootcamp. All right. Narendra says, using the align items, we can transfer the corner from the corners to the center. Narendra Sai, align items need other things as well that will be covering on day 3. Once you know that, then you'll be able to understand that how the align items and justify content and everything's work, right? So we'll talk about that on day 3. Okay. Anshika Kumawat, as I said, if you'll be putting the same question multiple times, I'll not be answering it. So I'll not be answering it. But I have already answered that question, I believe. Why can't we apply auto for the vertical alignments? Because by default, the height is not fixed. If you have a fixed height, then you can apply auto for the top and bottom also method, right? But by default, since we do not have the height, right? We don't have the height, right? That's the reason we cannot apply the auto property. If you apply the height, you can use the auto on top and bottom also. How I should come to know that I am fit to this web dev site? If you're interested in web dev and if you want to build your career on this, you're the right fit. If you are passionate about it, if you love building front end, if you're excited about it, you can spend time with this like 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, then you are a good fit, right? All right. So I think I have answered all the questions. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow live exactly at 8 p.m. Till then, bye, take care, and have fun. And once again, quick announcement: the source code will be available inside the WhatsApp group. The assignments will be available inside the WhatsApp group. I will see you tomorrow at 8. Please complete the assignments. I'll choose 2 winners tomorrow at 8, and they'll be getting a cashback out of rupees 99. And tomorrow we'll talk in depth about positions. No, you're not going to get the recordings. Supravat Sarkar, this is not a recorded course. You'll not be getting recordings for this. It's a pure live session, right? All right. Deepak says, can you tell me the pseudo selector? No, not now. And are there any rules for writing CSS? When we go for industry level, when we'll be going for the industry level, most of the times you will not be writing CSS. You will be using the front-end frameworks and utility classes. Maybe you'll be using Tailwind or Bootstrap or some UI frameworks, maybe Shadcn, maybe Material UI. There are tons of things, right, Deepak? So do not worry for that. Okay? You can put your question that just one. Difference between a card and giving border to div. That's just a class name, man. That's just a different class names, just one, right? That's just a different class. Whatever you want, you can do it. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Take care. Have fun. I'll see you all tomorrow live exactly at 8. Till then, bye. Take care. Have fun. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.